would want. And that tight end, Ray Didinger, was one Trey Burton, who joins us now. Trey, first of all, for me, from Ray, from millions of Philadelphia Eagle fans, congratulations and thank you for that moment and for the whole season.
No, thank you guys, man. You guys deserve this, and man, what an unbelievable game.
That play that we just heard, which is going to be something that we're going to live with for the rest of our lives. I know it had been in the playbook for a while. You guys had the option to call it, I know, against Minnesota, maybe Atlanta. How did you feel in the huddle when Nick Foles comes in and says, we're doing the Philly special?
Man, normally, like, when we run it in practice, I have a good idea, when we're going to run it and the situation, but this time it actually took me completely off guard, and I had no clue that we were going to run it. So, I only thought about it for maybe a half a second. I remember I looked up and I made eye contact with Foles, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, let's do it. And, the rest is history.
Trey, how long has the play actually been in the playbook? How has it been there since training camp? Did you go to it somewhere mid-season? I know that you never ran it, but how long has it actually been in the book?
Yeah, I think we put it in during the Falcons game, before the Falcons game, and obviously the situation hasn't came to where we needed to run it. I think Coach was really pushing to run it against the Vikings, but we were up so much that he didn't want to show it. And so I'm pretty sure the Atlanta game.
So the play is called. We've all seen it. It's the direct snap and then the lateral to you. You had the option to run, I know. Did it ever occur to you to run? What was your thought process as it unfolds?
No chance that I'm running it. I remember catching the pitch and I saw Foles. Like, he was the only person I saw. Like, it's weird, man. Like, I was just in the zone and didn't see anybody else, and just so wide open, just threw it up to him and made sure it was a catchable ball, and we're good to go.
How much did you said you put it in before the Atlanta game? How much did you actually work on it in practice? How much time did you actually devote to a play that you might not ever run?
Probably like two times a week. So twice before Atlanta, twice before Minnesota, and then twice before the Super Bowl. But we didn't actually, I don't think we actually ran it the week going into the Super Bowl live. We only walked through it in the hotel.
One of the things I noticed is you kept the gloves on. My hunch is that if you knew you were playing quarterback for a period of time, you probably wouldn't wear the gloves. What was that?
Yeah, I definitely would have taken them off. But like I said, I was so surprised and had no clue. But I threw it in practice, my gloves on every single time, just in case a scenario like that happened. And fortunately, I was good to go with it.
You must have, when you began talking about the play, from the time the play was drawn up and you began talking about it and walking through it in practice, there's so many levels to it that you all had to be mindful of, the guys that were going to be on the field then. And one of them, Trey, is you had to be real sure of your formation. You had to be sure that you had the right number. It would have been so easy for you to not have enough guys on the line of scrimmage, or because the formation that you created was so unusual that you had to be sure that everybody knew exactly where to line up, or else that play was going to come back.
Yeah, you could say that about every play. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's part of our job, is to make sure that we're on the line, and you got enough guys, and not too many, and not too less. And we usually have shifts and motions before every play. So it was nothing too new for us.
All right, before we move off this topic and get on to some other things, just honest answer.
Yeah.
How nervous were you at that moment?
I really wasn't, man. I didn't really think about it. I knew I had an opportunity. In that time, you don't really think about 4th and 1 or anything like that. I knew I had an opportunity to make a play, and I was just waiting for my number to be called, and that was the play that I needed to make.
I don't know if you heard about Rick Lovato's interview with the Tampa Bay radio station, where he said that it seemed to him that you guys in your practices during the week in Minneapolis were so aware of the. Well, it's not speculation. It's fact that the Patriots are a team that likes to spy on other teams' practices, and you're aware that there were the possibility that they might have some people dressed up as stadium workers that might be lurking around taking notes. So you actually, in part of the practices, that you actually ran some dummy stuff that you weren't even going to put in the game just to make sure that they weren't dipping into your playbook.
It was dummy stuff, but then there's also stuff that we were actually going to run, and it was just weird, man. We're in the stadium the day before the game for a walkthrough, and supposed to be closed, and there's not supposed to be anybody in there, a couple security guards, and there were a couple people, walking around. That was kind of weird, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, they have to. They could have a whole playbook, but they're not going to know, what play we're going to run at that time. Maybe it'll narrow it down, but still with execution, we should be able to when we expect to win.
Talking Eagles tight end Trey Burton. And Trey, one of the things I want to get in this conversation early is you're involved in a terrific charity, and you and Nick Foles and Jordan Hicks have been working through the season in an event to help Philadelphia victims of child abuse. It is called, where people can go is www.give5, the number 5, to PCA, which is Philadelphia Children's Alliance.org. Give5 to PCA.org. Tell us a little bit about it and how you got involved with it.
Yeah, so my wife and I would say 2 years ago, got really heavily involved, and we felt like, it was put on our heart to help children who are physically and sexually abused, and then also people who are kids who are sex trafficked. And obviously I have 3 young kids, and it would just, destroy me, and I would absolutely hate to see, anything like that happen to my children. And so we partnered with a huge organization, the largest anti-slavery and human trafficking organization in IJM, International Justice Mission, and they're based out of Washington. And so I just remember last year just thinking to myself, like, man, this is great, the stuff we're doing with IJM, we're helping them a ton, but man, what is something we can like tangibly do here on a local level, that we can, get behind and help support. And I remember, I think it was Foles and Hicks, were really interested in it as well. And we took a trip to the Philadelphia Children's Alliance, up in North Philly, and just fell in love with it, fell in love with the people, fell in love with what they're doing. We really believe, that they're helping children, and there's so many kids, who need help. And people don't realize, people think that trafficking and physical sexual abuse, happen more overseas or, in other countries. But man, it's alive here in America, and it's alive here in Philadelphia, and it's a horrible thing. So we just decided to back them, and we came up with this campaign, Give 5 to PCA, and just been rolling with it ever since.
And you and the other 2 players gave a very generous cash donation and kind of challenged Eagle fans to match it. And really, the Give 5 is $5, right? And every Eagle fan who enjoyed this season, just was thrilled by the Super Bowl and saw the great work that you guys did, should go to that site. I'm going to give it out again. Give 5, number 5, to PCA.org and donate $5. They can donate more. There's not a limit on that, but $5 really helps move toward that goal. So
I think the idea is 5. So we ended up collectively, Hicks and Foles and I gave $50,000. So the idea is to give something that starts with 5. $5, $50, $500, $5,000, whatever it may be. But there's a huge need, and we know we're trying to do whatever we possibly can to help.
All right, let's go to the parade. You're on that stage. Well, first of all, what was it like riding along the route of the parade?
Man, it's something I'll never forget. I just can't even put into words how wild and crazy and rambunctious and loud and, all these words combined, just the fans and so many people out there, and they're throwing beers at us like crazy, and trying
in a friendly way. Let's establish that.
Yeah.
They're not angrily throwing beer cans at you, right?
No, a very friendly way. But no, it was great.
What was it like when? You have the whole ride all the way up Broad Street, which is 3.5 to 4 miles, and people are lined up from the sidewalk all the way to the buildings. But then you make that turn at City Hall, and you start heading up the Parkway, and then the whole scene sort of opens up to you. That must have just been breathtaking.
Yeah, it was even when we left the stadium, it was going down at the beginning of Broad Street, and really, really cool. I was like, man, this is unbelievable. But bro, when we turned, like you're saying, right around City Hall, and you started hearing the music and the party going, and man, it was just special. Philly deserves this, and this organization deserves this. The city, the people, and man, that was so exciting.
And then Trey Burton, the speeches begin, and Doug Peterson is great, and I'm trying to remember who was up there early. Everybody is good.
Well,
Howie Rose was up there.
Jeff led it off.
Jeff leads off, and some of the players, and then the Red Sea parts as Jason Kelsey gets his moment. We thought it was great. How was that for you? What are your thoughts on that one?
Well, there's so many cool things about that. Like, I think, for one, that's who Kelsey is. He's a really emotional guy. What he believes in, he stands behind. And I think that was one special thing. You got to see Jason Kelsey, as a whole right there, and how much he loves his teammates and appreciates everybody. But then also, I think you also got to see the city of Philadelphia. Like, I think they felt the same way as he did. And that's why that's why it was one of the most legendary speeches of all time.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be remembered as well, forever, because this dude, he hit it on the head, in every area. The underdog, hard workers, no one gave us anything, but people in Philadelphia can relate to that, because that's who they are. And so I just think it was really special.
I thought one of the great things about it was that it was so inclusive. I mean, that you guys, all of you, to a man, when the game was over, made the point that this is for the city, this is for the fans, this is for the people that have stuck behind us. You made them feel part of it. And then yesterday, the organization did a great job of bringing back so many of the former players. I mean, when you guys were all on the steps together, it was like one big team photo, from all the generations and all the eras, and stuff like on the float of, Fletcher Cox wearing a Reggie White jersey and, Brent Selleck wearing a Harold Carmichael jersey. I mean, the fact that you made this about more than just yourselves, but you made it about everybody, I think is one of the things that people will really remember about that parade.
Yeah, I think it's just a respect factor. We have a ton of respect for the former players, the guys who, paved the way for us to get where we're at now. Philadelphia wouldn't be one of the greatest football cities in the world if it wasn't for guys like Reggie White and Doc, and the list goes on forever. And so, we're trying to respect them and, respect our fans. And like I said, you guys deserve this so much.
We saw that you're there with your young son. I know you said you have 3 kids. What is it like to share this with your family?
Yeah, that's probably my favorite moment so far, all time, of this whole experience was after the game. My family's on the field with me, and we're just celebrating. They don't really quite, understand 5 and 3 and 10-month-old. They don't really understand too much, but one of the things I've always tried to do in my whole career so far is just to bring them along with me, at every chance I get. So home games, they're on the field after the game, running around, playing with the other little kids, and my favorite part was at the podium when I was able to speak. They had me go up after the game, and I was able to bring my children, to sit on my lap. And
yeah.
I just hope, it's something that even though they might not remember it right now, that they'll see pictures, in a couple of years, and they'll, hopefully they'll appreciate and know that their dad, brought one of them along for the journey and cared enough for them, to have them out there whenever I possibly could.
Well, it was a great moment, and it was something that was great for the city and for the organization and for all of you guys. And and you're going to enjoy it for a time, but at a certain point, you're going to start looking to the future and what comes next. And a lot of people are asking about your future with the team. I know that you'll be a free agent at the end of this year, and the kind of season you've had and the kind of ability that you've shown, there are going to be people that are going to be interested in talking to you about that. Do you have any feelings yet about your future, where you're going to go, staying in Philadelphia versus exploring the free agent market? Have you had time to think about any of that?
No, I haven't had too much time. I've really just been trying to soak this all in and, try to take advantage of it as much as possible. But, as of right now, I won't be here just because there's no deal on the table. And I'm looking forward, to whatever the future holds. Obviously, I'd love to be back, and there's something special going on here. And, would love to make it happen. But, there hasn't been any dialogue at all. So, and that doesn't really start on my end. It starts on the other end.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping that, listen, this is a smart organization, and I am hoping that they realize the value that you bring. You're the Swiss Army knife of this team. You really are valuable in so many ways, and had such a terrific season for them, and are such a big contributor. I know every Eagles fan would love to have you back. By the way, how many tight ends have thrown a touchdown pass in the history of the Super Bowl?
0. I'm the 3rd undrafted player to ever throw a touchdown in the Super Bowl. I thought that was pretty cool too.
You're the 3rd undrafted. Wow. Do you know who the other 2 are?
I know it was like Jake Delhomme, the quarterback for the Panthers, and I don't remember the other person.
Okay. Well, you're the first tight end.
Yeah.
So
sure.
That's pretty cool. All right, let's one more time. Let's just talk about the charity, because you, Nick Foles, and Jordan Hicks got involved with the Philadelphia Children's Alliance. You guys, you backed it up with a big donation and are challenging Philadelphians to donate $5 or more. 50, 500, whatever. I assume you would take it if it was 25 too, right? It doesn't have to start with a 5. Okay.
Of course.
Okay, and for people to do it, it is, shoot, I just lost it. Oh, darn it. You don't happen to know up to the top of your head, do you? I lost the address.
The Give 5 to PCA?
There it is. Give 5 to PCA.org. Thank you. Listen, Trey Burton, you guys provided this town with such thrills. You're a great guy to have on the team in the community, and we're delighted to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys do a great job.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Be
you, Trey.
well. Hope to see you back here.
Yeah, me too.
All
See you
right.
guys later.
All right. Take care.